Hey everybody, welcome to the 9th edition of Deck Profile Friday. In this video, I'll be going over actually one of my favorite decks in the Sword and Shield-on format. And actually, it was decently, it did pretty decent, fairly decent at the end of the team-up format. So that was the last format. It wasn't as good as its older brother, the Shadow Rider Calyrex, but it was okay. And then I want to also talk about it moving forward, with the new set coming out, Brilliant Stars, and what we can look to see and expect out of that set, and how well the deck will perform. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the list. So we got 3 Ice Rider VMAX, and then 3 Ice Rider Calyrex V. So with the V there, it's pretty standard, 210 HP, 2 retreat cost, weak to metal, which is actually a pretty good weakness right now. For 1 water energy, it does pierce for 40, which is okay. And then it's a second attack, Glacial Lance, does 200 for 2 water and a colorless, and then you discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. So, yeah, it's okay. It's not too bad. But the main reason why we have that there is for the VMAX. So, 320 HP, which is decent for VMAX. 2 retreat cost, which is also decent. A weak to metal, which is a pretty good weakness right now. And then 2 attacks. So we got Ride of the High King. It does 10 damage for each. Pardon me. It does 10 damage plus 30 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So if your opponent has 5 bench Pokemon, then this attack will do 160. And if they have like 3, then it'd only do 100, right? So it's still a pretty good attack for when you don't want to use the second attack, which is Max Lance. For 2 water energy, you can discard up to 2 energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 120 more damage for each energy discarded in this way, which adds to the original damage of 10. So if you discard 1, you're doing 130. And if you discard 2, then you're doing 250 damage, which is pretty much capable of knocking any Pokemon V out that does not have a Cape of Toughness attached, or some of them that have a big charm, So yeah, this is fantastic. It's also a great type as well. It's a good neutral type right now, as there not a lot of decks right now are like resisting it or weak to it, right? So yeah, I think he's fantastic. And then we got the standard Inteleon line. We got the 2 Chilling Rain Rapid Strike 1, and then the 1 Sword and Shield base. Then we got 4 Drizzile, and then 4 Sobble. So Sobble, 60 HP, 1 retreat, weak to lightning, which is decent. It's about average. Its first attack, Keep Calling, which is actually really good. It searches your deck for up to 3 Rapid Strike Pokemon and puts them onto your bench. So this is a fantastic card. I would, if it's a great starter, you're able to get more of your Sobbles out. Its second attack you don't really use, but it's mainly there to evolve into Drizzile, which is absolutely amazing. 1 retreat cost, 90 HP, weak to lightning as well, which is standard for stage 1. And then its Shady Dealings ability is the main reason why it's in the deck. Even without the Inteleon, I would still play this just because of how powerful it is. It searches your deck for any trainer card when you play it from your hand to evolve, which is absolutely fantastic. Includes supporters, includes stadiums, tools, etc. It's attack there. Like, we don't really use that, as there are better things to attack with. And then the Inteleon. So the two Inteleons. We got the base one there, which is just an improved Drizzile, which again searches your deck for two trainer cards, right? And its attack there, Aqua Bullet, which is actually not too bad. It does 120 and then 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So when you combo that with the Chilling Rain one there to the left of it, you're able to do some quick sniping damage, which is okay. 160 HP, 1 retreat, and a weak to lightning as well is about average for it. And then the other one, the Chilling Rain one there, it's mainly there for the quick shooting ability, which puts 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So, and then, yeah, everything else is about average about it, with the HP 150, 1 retreat, weak to lightning, and then 2 colorless for a 70 damage attack. So, yeah, he's okay. But yeah, he's mainly there for the ability. So, that's the Inteleon line. And then we got to the one-offs. Crobat V and Suicune V. So the Suicune V is interchangeable with another Ice Rider Calyrex V. I just like playing the Suicune because it's a 2-prize attacker. I know before that in the same deck you just play a slimmer Ice Rider line and a little bit more heavy Suicune line, and have it more act as like Suicune and Inteleon, which, like, these decks are so interchangeable, like between Ice Rider Calyrex, Suicune Inteleon, and then Suicune Ludicolo. Like, they're so interchangeable. Like, all you need to do is just swap out like 5 or 6 cards, and then you have pretty much the same deck, right? Yeah, fantastic attack there. Blizzard Rondo, it does 20 plus, 20 more damage for each bench Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's. Standard 210 HP, 2 retreat cost, weak to lightning, which is decent as well. And then Crobat V there, everything about it is okay except for the ability, which is exceptional. When you play it from your hand onto your bench, you may draw until you have 6 cards in your hand, which is absolutely fantastic. I do play Path to the Peak, but even playing one of these guys, like one of each of them, and Suicune is really, it isn't really affected, right? Like, if I miss drawing a card, like an extra card, I'm like, okay, how many decks, wouldn't really worry about that. Like, pretty much everything, right? Crobat V, with all the Drizziles in there, and being able to, to fetch, a Professor's Research or a Melanie or a Marnie, right? You don't really need to depend on it at all, and rather just focus on your Drizzile. So it's just a great addition to the deck. If it doesn't get played during your game, okay. But on the games that you are able to play it, you definitely want to take advantage of that, and it's definitely worth the spot in the deck. So yeah, that does it for the Pokemon. Onto the trainers, supporters, and stadiums. So we'll do the supporters first. We've got 4 Melanie, which is standard, 2 Boss, 2 Marnie, and then 2 Professor's Research. So Melanie is the main supporter for the deck. Allows you to attach a Water Energy card from the discard to one of your Pokemon V, which combos extremely well with Ice Rider Calyrex, right? The VMAX, where you discard the energy for Max Lance. It combos well with Quick Ball, which you can discard a water energy with. It's just an all-around good card, and it's good for, if you have like a really good hand and you just need some straight draw, trying to to dig for one of the cards that you need, right? But you also need to be able to attack that turn. It's a fantastic card. 2 boss, so this is specifically for like targeting your opponent's Pokemon V that are trying to power up on the bench, right? And you're able to take those knockouts and put your opponent behind. Fetchable by Shady Dealings as well, which is fantastic. And then 2 Marnie and 2 Research. So with Marnie, it's pretty standard to play 2 in here. It's not too bad of a card. Like if you have like a dead hand, for either that or the Research, right? You can put it underneath the deck or discard it respectively, and then just get that new hand, right? In order to make everything work for your turn and get that attack off and get that prize card, right? So that does it for the supporters, and then on to the stadiums. So pretty standard stadiums. We got 4 Path to the Peak, right? This is pretty much the best stadium in the format right now. It shuts off so many decks. It shuts off Genesect V. It shuts off Umbreon VMAX. It shuts off Zacian V. It shuts off so many things. It's ridiculous, and you're definitely gonna, in this deck, you definitely want to take advantage of that and play those 4 copies. So you can get away with 3, but I'd rather just play the 4, just knowing that I can crush my opponent a lot easier, right? That does it for the stadiums, and then to the trainers. So we'll do the 4 ofs. We've got 4 Crushing Hammer, 4 Evolution Incense, and 4 Quick Ball. So these here are pretty standard. Crushing Hammer is just really good. It can put your opponent behind for a turn by discarding a crucial energy. Evolution Incense, so you play 4 Drizzle, 3 Inteleon, and then 3 Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. So that's a total of 10, right? So which pretty much searches like half your deck. So fantastic card. Quick Ball, you play your 4 Sobble, you play your 3 Ice Rider Calyrex V, and then the Suicune and the Crobat V, right? So that's 9, right? So it searches just under half your deck, actually. So these are all fantastic. I wouldn't consider playing any less than 4 of each of these. And yeah, so that does it for that. So we'll get to the 2 ofs. So we play 2 Capacious Bucket and then 2 Level Ball. So Capacious Bucket able to fetch the waters, which we play a low energy count of. And then Level Ball, so it searches out your Drizzles, your Sobbles, right? We only play 2 because I think that's all that's needed. And I'd rather have a max out amount of Evolution Incense. And then yeah, so that does it for those. And then to the 1 ofs. So the 1 ofs, we play 1 Air Balloon, 1 Fan of Waves, 1 Switch, 1 Tool Scrapper. So Air Balloon, and keep in mind too that these are all searchable. It gives your Pokemon this card is attached to retreat cost or less. So pretty much everything free retreat. Fan of Waves, you can put a special energy card attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon on the bottom of their deck. Yeah, one copy is good. You could play, if you wanted, you could play 2, possibly even 3. It's just kind of a, what kind of preference do you have, right? Do you want to have it, your deck more consistent, or do you want to have it more disruptive? Switch. So the good thing with Switch, it pretty much does the same thing as Air Balloon, except there are two things with it. One, you can't use it again, which with Air Balloon you can. And then two, an Air Balloon can be discarded with Tool Scrapper, whereas a Switch can't. So a Switch is like a for sure way of switching that Pokemon, and then Tool Scrapper pretty much does what I just mentioned. It gets rid of tools like Air Balloon, Cape of Toughness, which is another one, right? Just a fantastic card. You shouldn't really need more than one of that in the deck either. So, and that does it for the trainer supporter stadiums. I'm old school. I kind of call it like that, right? And then on to the energies. So I got 7 waters. Yeah, we play a pretty low energy account in the deck where, that's okay because we have Capacious Bucket and we have ways to search out Capacious Bucket, right? So this is perfectly acceptable. You could play if you wanted an 8th one, it's just kind of figuring out, hey, what do you want to cut, right? Really simple. Or you can play something like an energy search as well. Like you do have Capacious Bucket. You could play, I guess, a second Capacious Bucket, or pardon me, a third, right? You could do that, right? Rather than the energy search. So, the energy search does have, I guess it's not really too good in this, because with Capacious Bucket you can search out just one, but I've just seen a lot play that, so it's okay. Yeah, and that does it for the energies. So, yeah, I just want to talk about where I see the deck, moving forward, right? Moving forward, I think it's going to be pretty good. For most of the matchups, like it has, barring the only one that I would consider maybe a little bit tough is just is Leafeon, just because the resistance, right, and how it kind of affects the KOs, and Jolteon as well. But I think for the most part, like, this is a pretty good deck. Like, it's a pretty good neutral deck, as it at 2-hit KOs most of the Pokemon VMAXs, right? And it's capable of 1-hit KOing practically any Pokemon V. And moving forward with the new Charizard coming out, the Charizard V-Star, right? And the possibility of Centiskorch coming back, right? And with how strong Path to the Peak is, right? And being able to play that stadium without having the deck affected, I think it's a pretty good choice. So you can't really go wrong with picking the deck. It's just a matter of question. Like, the question that you'd want to ask yourself is, would you rather play this or would you rather play that type of thing, right? Yeah, overall he's pretty cool. I do like water is one of my favorite types, so I have played a lot of water in the past with Blastoise and some Kingdra variations, right? And obviously Seismitoad. So he's pretty cool, and yeah, that does it for today's video. So hope everybody enjoyed and got some value out of it, right? And we look forward. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will be on Monday, which is another opening, and then Wednesday, which is some more live gameplay, and then next Friday as well for Deck Profile 10. So yeah, there you go, and hope everyone's doing well, and yeah, thank you so much and take care.